Welcome to the second lesson in the draw list commands. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the second command, which is polyline. Polyline, you can find it in the draw list, the second one here, polyline, or you can type the shortcut of this command, which is PL, then enter. The main difference between this command and the command line is that the command polyline draws a shape with lines that are connected. They act as one unit. But in the command line, you can see that if you choose any line, it just selects that line. It doesn't select the whole shape. So you can take each line separated from the other. But if you take polyline and draw, for example, a square 10 by 10, specify the first point, take ortho mode, I'll take 10, 10 above, 10 to the left, then close C, enter. Now if I choose any point on this shape, you can see that it selects the whole shape. So these lines act as one unit, and the lines drawn by the command line, each one is separated from the others. This is the main objective of this command. Why do we need to draw any object by polyline? If you want to know the area or the parameter of any shape, you have to get a shape which is polyline. So you can go to properties and choose the command list, or type the shortcut of this command, which is LI, then enter. Now it asks you to select an object. Now click on polyline, then press enter. Now you can see that you have the area of the shape and the parameter and the coordination of each corner. If you do this again for this shape, you can see that you have to click on each line, then press enter, and you can see here that you can't have the area. You can take the coordinations and also the length of each line. So having the polyline helps you to calculate the area and the parameter for the whole shape. Another difference, if you want to make an offset for this shape, for example, go to offset or enter, then specify the offset distance, let's say 1, enter. If you want to make it for this shape, you have to click on each line like this. We are going to talk about this command later. Like this, you have to click on each line, then specify the direction to offset. To have the same shape, you have to take the command fillet, F enter, take this command like this one and this one, then enter this line and this line. You have to repeat this command for all the corners of this shape. That if you have a line, but if you have a polyline, just take offset, then specify the distance, which is 1, click on the shape, then specify the direction to inside. Now you can see that all of the shape has been copied after distance 1 unit, and it doesn't need to fix the corners like what we did in the lines. So this command, the polyline, when you take polyline and you want to make offset of the whole shape, it's better to get the command polyline. Okay, you can convert this shape which has been drawn with the command line to a polyline. How is that? By taking the command join, J, enter, then choose these lines, then press enter. Now you can see that all of the shape has been one unit. If you want to delete this, E, enter, then offset 1, click on the line. Now you can see that all of the shape has been offset onto the inside of this shape. If you want to change a polyline to separated lines, all what you have is to take the command explode, then press on the shape, then press enter. Now you can see that each line has been separated. So to draw a polyline, you have to take the command PL. So PL, enter, specify the start point. Then, for example, you want to draw a line with 10 units, enter. Let's take another point, for example, 5 units. Okay. You can see here that we have more sub-commands in this command. In line command, we had close and undo. In polyline command, we have arc. You can draw arc during the polyline. You can give the line half width or width. The difference between half width and width is the same difference between radius and diameter. So the radius is the half value of the diameter. So you can give half width or width. Okay, length, you don't need to use it because you can direct the mouse to the direction that you have and then enter the value, for example 2, enter, and so it draws a polyline. So you don't need to use this command. Another one, which is undo. You know that this subcommand deletes the last line has been drawn like this. So if you want to draw an arc, just press on arc or type the shortcut of this command, which is the letter A. So A, enter. Now you have many ways to draw an arc, like angle, center, direction, and radius and second point. If you want to choose, for example, second point, and I want to unactivate the ortho mode, just press on a point to choose the center of the arc, and then the last point, for example, like this. Now you have an arc. If you want to draw during radius, just click on radius or type R, enter. What's the radius? For example, 2.5, enter. Now you have an arc with radius 2.5, enter. So if you want to draw a line, if you have finished the arcs and you want to draw a line, just click on line. You see that here you have line subcommand is activated. Just click on line and you can draw lines again. So if I want to draw a line with 3 units, 3, enter. Now the last step is to close the shape. What I have to do, we said before, you have 2 ways. Either you click on this point, then press enter to end the command, or choose close, C, enter, and the shape will be closed like what you see here. If you click anywhere on the shape, you can see that this shape acts like 1 unit. That's all about this command. See you in the next lesson.